Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha. श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्धरामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्कपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। So namaste once again everyone. Because of the disaster that we had in the last class, and also on the request of a few students, I also felt that it is not fair to leave all of you with an incomplete and inaudible class. Therefore, I have decided that I will repeat the last class today. And in fact, what we will do is we will consider today's class as the 70th class, not the last one. I will scrap that class and teach whatever I tried to teach in the last class again today, so that you are able to follow it without any break. So thanks to students who had made this request. Even otherwise, I also thought when after listening a little bit to the recording of the last class, I felt that I have not done justice to the students, not because of my fault, but circumstances prevented that. So we will continue today, repeat with the repetition of the last class. So as I was saying, Bhagavan Krishna in these slokas which we are seeing is focusing mainly on Indriya Nigraha. The three sadhanas we saw: Indriya Nigraha, Mano Nigraha and Nididhyasana, right? These are the three sadhanas which are preparatory sadhanas in the spiritual path, right? For a prajna to become a sthira prajna, for assimilation of the knowledge which has been gained in the Shravanam and Mananam stage. And as I told you, that knowledge which you gain at the Shravanam and Mananam stage is very tender knowledge. It is not a knowledge which has taken roots and it's not strong enough. So even a small whiff of wind of materialistic desires, of kama blows, this knowledge will be blown away along with that. And that is why it is very much necessary that once you have done Shravanam and Mananam, then the real journey starts. After that only, lot of caution needs to be exercised. As long as you are it's like a small child, as long as the child is on all its fours, no problem. Only when the child stands up for the first time and tries to take a few steps, that is the time the child has to be very careful that it should not fall. And that is why we give all the aids to children to make that stage of one's life easier. The walker and things like that and all we give. Similarly, here also, Shravanam Mananam is the stage of a toddler. Got knowledge and all. That's not the end of it. That's just the beginning. The real test is once you've done the Shravanam and Mananam, and Mananam means any doubts also you have got clarified. No doubt. After that only the real spiritual journey begins from a Vedanta standpoint. And there, the very first sadhana one needs to practice is Indriya Nigraha. Because without Indriya Nigraha, Mano Nigraha Nididhyasanam will not be, will not mean much, even though they are not any less important. But Indriya Nigraha is the first one. And that is why Bhagavan Krishna comes back to the subject of Indriya Nigraha again and again. And as we were seeing in the sloka, Prasade sarva dukkhanam anirasyopajayate prasanna chetaso hyashuhu buddhi paryavatishtate. So in the previous sloka, Bhagavan Krishna talked about the prasada buddhi or prasada bhava, the tranquil mind. When the mind is free from all kinds of disturbances. And he is now explaining that in such tranquility, in a peaceful mind, the destruction of all the miseries take place. He ashuhu, verily, buddhi paryavatishtate, the self-knowledge of this serene-minded person, prasanna chetasaha, soon becomes firm. Parya avatishtate. Paryavatishtate. That becomes firm. The knowledge becomes firm. So, here Bhagavan is pointing out the advantage of enjoying an equanimous mind. The word prasada we have seen in the previous sloka also. Prasanna chittam, shantihi, samatvam. All these meanings we have seen. Poise, balance, equanimity. And in this sloka, Krishna is pointing out that such a prasada, that is a tranquil mind, will produce twofold benefits. One benefit we saw in the class 69, that is the last to previous class, which is sarva dukkhanam hanihi. That's the first benefit. And this point of first reaching a stage of gaining a peace of mind, not temporarily, but continuous for a period of time, is emphasized in Vedanta again and again. See, it's very common practice for us who are in the society, who are working in corporates. Many times, even great leaders talk about chasing dreams. I remember Abdul Kalam's famous, I think the book also, he had written a book, but I've heard his talk on chase the dreams and things like that and all. But what happens is they are good enough for a Laukika life. They are good they are all very good for a samsara life. But when we come to spiritual practice, when we come to the spiritual journey, those kind of motivational talks do not help much. Because what happens is, when we start chasing our dreams, we run behind objects of desire or some relationships, because we have a misconceived notion that all these things will bring us happiness. Actually, Vedanta points out that our happiness does not depend upon any external source. We ourselves are the source of all happiness. And I gave you the example also of the underground water, which is tapped with the help of a borewell pump. The source of happiness within us is unlimited. And this happiness can be tapped by gaining samatvam, or an equanimous mind. A mind which is not agitated, a mind which is not disturbed. So what happens is, samatvam removes all sorrows, which means what? It brings in the happiness or joy. Therefore, we need not bring happiness from outside world. And also, one more point, we cannot bring happiness from the outside world. Because the outside world is a world of grief, a sorrow, a samsari world. It has no happiness to give us. It does not have even an iota of happiness to give me. But then people will ask, why do I feel happy sometimes when I actually gain a desired object, or when I establish a relationship with a person whom I like very much, I have a sense of happiness. Why does that happen? If it is not the outside world, what else? How else should I understand? And this aspect also we have actually explained and understood with the example of dog chewing a bone, which is Swami Paramarthananda's very, very classic example. The dog believes, because when the dog is chewing a bone, what happens is the rough edges, the sharp edges of the bone, they cut into the teeth and gums of the dog, and blood starts flowing out of it. And the dog gets the taste of its own blood. But the dog has got a misconception that the blood is coming from the bone. So it is going on chewing the bone again and again and again. In the process, its gums are cut again and again. More blood it tastes, and it is thinking that it is the bone which is actually the source of all the blood which is coming. It's the same case with us also. We think that by gaining all these objects of desire and persons and situations, we become happy because these are the things which give us happiness. Vedanta says every such object of your desire which you think is giving happiness is like the bone. It does not have even a droplet of happiness. Sense objects are only responsible in bringing out the happiness which is already within us. And how do they do it? The sense objects are able to tap and bring out the happiness within us by removing all our mental disturbances temporarily. Therefore, what is blocking our happiness, or what is blocking our experience of continuous or permanent happiness, is the mental disturbances that we undergo. This we must understand very, very clearly. The more you keep the mental disturbances under control by sense control and mind control, when the mental disturbances are removed, when all those blocks are removed, our own Atmananda manifests. And therefore, Krishna says, Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanihi bhavati. Once the disturbance are gone, we saw that shantim prapnoti. Therefore, we must understand, first point, joy does not come from outside. It comes from one's own self. And this is benefit number one of a prasada bhava. When you gain mental happiness, when you get rid of all your mental disturbances, that is joy or ananda on a long-lasting basis. Now, what is the second benefit? Krishna says, prasanna chetasaha. When the mind is calm, buddhihi paryavatishtate. Self-knowledge becomes well-rooted. It becomes stronger and stronger. It becomes well assimilated. When we feel hungry, we eat a lot of food, isn't it? And any type of food we eat just to satiate the hunger. It could be a burger, a pizza, a dosa, so many things. But we know and we should remember that it is not the amount of food that I consume is important, but it is the amount of food that assimilate, that get digested, the nutrients get assimilated in my body. That is important. Because what nourishes me for my body and mind sense complex to grow and to be active and also perform all my duties is not the food that I eat, but the food that nourishes me. It is the assimilated food which nourishes me, which is important. And that is why, when we become a little old, senior citizens and all that, the nutrients, our body's metabolism becomes, slow and also less efficient, because of which some important nutrients in the food which we consume, the body is not able to assimilate. And that's the reason for many old age, ailments and diseases. And when you go to a doctor, he will recommend some supplements that you take, this phosphorus supplement, this supplement, that supplement, and all, vitamin B12 and all that. When we take the supplements, then from the supplements, the nutrition, the vitamins come, and that they help our body to balance or gain that missing nutrients from the food. So similarly, when the mind is disturbed, knowledge will not be assimilated. When the mind is calm, the knowledge gets assimilated. Therefore, he says, buddhihi. Buddhihi here, as I told you earlier, also means jnanam, prajna, which will become paryavatishtate. It will get converted into sthita prajna. Prajna will get converted into sthita prajna or sthira prajna. And the importance of this benefit is that when the buddhi gains or assimilates, this knowledge gets assimilated, it becomes available during our day-to-day life to face difficult situations in our life. We don't require Vedanta knowledge which everything is hunky-dory. But everybody's life, without exception, there are very difficult, challenging situations which are faced. Situations which can cause us great grief. Situations which can lead to lot of mental turmoil. situations which can lead to break in relationships. That's what we are reading in all newspapers today, isn't it? The media and all that. Somebody is killed, somebody commits suicide, somebody is raped. So many things, all because of what? The mental disturbances of the criminals, and they manifest themselves in all these crimes. Therefore, Vedanta knowledge is required to face such difficult situations. If everything is going fine, you don't need any Vedanta at all. And that's what Puja Swamiji says. Lot of people, they live under the illusion because they are well-to-do people, they have done well in their life, they have succeeded in their career, they have built up a very big bank balance, lot of investments, properties and all. They somehow come to believe that they are very happy in their life. And they don't need Vedanta and all that. So Puja Swamiji says that such people come to Swamiji and they tell him, Swamiji, why do I need this Vedanta? I am very happy as such. Everything is fine going on with me. Swamiji says, that is really very good to know. Then Swamiji says, he engages that person in some more conversation. As the conversation proceeds, that person starts telling one by one. Say, Swamiji, actually, honestly speaking, everything is fine with me. I've got a lot of things. But my son, he is refusing to get married. After all, I am getting old. My wife is also getting old. We want to, settle our son. We want him to get married, have children and all, so that we can see our grandchildren. But he is, adamant, and he says he doesn't want to get married. So the very happy person who doesn't need Vedanta now slowly comes out with one problem, which is actually at the back of his mind. It is disturbing his mind. He doesn't have a solution because he can't force the son to get married. Or Swamiji says, another person will say, Swamiji, everything is fine with me. I've got a very wonderful wife, beautiful children. They are very obedient. In fact, in these days, to find such children is a very, very rare commodity. But Swamiji, I have, in my office, there are one or two people, who are very jealous of me. And they they go on creating problem for me. So, either it could be a domestic problem or an office problem. It is there somewhere sitting in your mind. You are only denying the existence by claiming yourself to be happy. It is a dishonest life you are leading. On the one hand, you have problems, but you are putting out a face to the world as if you are very happy. Once you own up that you have got problems in life, and nobody can deny this, everybody has got their own set of problems in life, that is where the Vedanta knowledge comes to help. If it does not help us on our day-to-day life, then Vedanta and Bhagavad Gita is useless. What use? It's some theoretical knowledge. Okay, we don't have anything to do. Let us study Bhagavad Gita. Such knowledge, when we gain, it should transform our life. Our aim in life should be transformation. In fact, tomorrow we are going to have a new year. Swami Chinmayananda, says very beautifully, it is foolish to celebrate this new year unless you take some resolutions to transform your life and you act on those resolutions. It need not necessarily be the 1st of January of every year. Any time that you take a resolution, you take a sankalpa, that from now onwards, I am going to get rid of these things which has been with me, and I am going to transform my life into a higher level. Swamiji says that is the new year for you. Otherwise, all this new year business doesn't make any sense at all. It is just a celebration or an excuse to do some wrong things in your life. So whenever we talk of New Year, I'm actually always reminded of Swami Simhananda's beautiful clip, which I have seen sometime earlier. What is a New Year? A New Year is the day when you decide to transform your life from a current level to a higher level, to a level which takes you nearer to the cosmic powers, nearer to God, nearer to the Lord, which takes you nearer to the people at large. The whole world becomes inclusive. You are not excluding anything. And to that level, if your transformation, if your sankalpa, if your pledge, or if your resolutions take you, that day is the new year for you. Let the world celebrate the new year any way they want, on whichever day they want to celebrate. So we must remember that the day I decide to transform my life, from that day onwards, I should not have any looking back, turning back. And therefore, Krishna is prescribing, Arjuna, your goal in life should be that you must transform your life. Because even animals, they live this mundane life, eating, drinking, sleeping. Even animals do. You are a human being. You have been given a free will. Use that free will to transform your life. And that is why these sadhanas, which are, Indriya Nigraha, Mano Nigraha, Nididhyasanam and all, become very, very important. And thereby, we can face all the difficult situations in our life. Now, if this is not accomplished through the prescribed sadhanas, what the consequences will be, Bhagavan Krishna says in the next sloka. Nasti buddhirayuktasya nachayuktasya bhavana nacha bhavayata shantihi ashantasya kutas sukham. The Anvaya of this sloka is Buddhihi na asti ayuktasya bhavana cha na ayuktasya. We can supply asti. Chana shantihi abhavayatah, supply asti. Kutas sukham ashantasya. It's a rhetoric question. That means ashantasya sukham nasti. Buddhihi na asti. Knowledge does not arise. Ayuktasya, for the undisciplined one, for the one who is falsely believing himself to be happy when there is so much unhappiness, so much reasons for him to grieve. Bhavana chana asti. Contemplation is also not possible. Here bhavana means referring to nididhyasana. Ayuktasya, for an undisciplined person. Chana shantihi, and there is no peace. Abhavayataha, for the ashantasya, for the peaceless one. The one whose mind is constantly agitated, where can there be peace for him? So what he says, knowledge does not arise for the undisciplined one. Contemplation is also not possible for the undisciplined one. And there is no peace for the non-contemplative person. How can there be happiness for the peaceless one? So again, Krishna comes back and highlights the importance of shamaha and damaha sadhanas, which we have seen as Indriya Nigraha and Mano Nigraha, sensory control and mind control. And he points out in this sloka that these two sadhanas are very important at every stage of the spiritual journey. Rather, it is not that once you have done it, okay, I'm now fine. No, this is a continuous thing. Like every day, morning you get up and brush. Similarly, continuously in the spiritual journey, these two sadhanas are very, very important, and they have to be practiced day in and day out. Because learning anything requires a cooperative mind, a calm mind. When your mind is agitated, no knowledge can take place. And this understanding becomes very important when it comes to Shravana, that is listening to the scriptures. As I was saying, in the last class, maybe it was not audible. All of you have decided to attend the Gita classes. This 1 hour every day, 1 hour a day in a week, you have decided to devote for attending the Gita classes instead of sitting and watching some TV or listening to some music program or playing chess or whatever it is, any other pursuit, which does not add anything to your life except give you some entertainment for a few minutes. Therefore, your intellect has concluded that Gita Shravanam is very beneficial. Therefore, your judgment is very good and you have come to these classes. But is that enough? Is it enough that you have a good judgment? When you come to the class, you also require a cooperative mind, which should also be in the class. Otherwise, physically, you will be in the class, mind can be all over the world. As I said, in a Zoom class like this, when no one is watching you all, it is all the more difficult to prevent your mind from wandering all over. Moreover, all of you are on mute mode also. So whatever you are doing or you are saying or you are singing or somebody else is talking won't be heard by anybody, including the Acharya. When you are talking, maybe your mobile may ring. You don't want to answer the call because you are in the class. Fine, very good. Good discipline. But immediately there is a possibility your mind will start thinking, who would have called? Would it have been some urgent call? Maybe I should have picked it up. Because in any case, I am on mute and nobody, especially the teacher, cannot hear if I talk. Or even if you decide, no, I should not do that, it is not correct. Still, you may be curious enough to pick up the phone and see who has called. You find a number which is not in your contact list. Immediately, your curiosity will increase. Was it a wrong number? Or has somebody tried to reach you due to an emergency? What will happen? From the time the phone rang, even though one part of your mind said don't answer the phone, the other part, the mind will become fully engaged in analyzing the phone call. Meanwhile, the teacher would have completed explaining the meaning of an important sloka. All would have gone above the head. Your mind is engaged somewhere else. Therefore, for Shravanam especially, it is important that the mind is available. And as he said, Swami Paramartha recalls an incident about a lady who used to attend this class regularly. One day, she brought a safety pin and gave it to Swamiji. Swamiji did not know what purpose she is giving the safety pin. Then the lady explained to him that she had brought the safety pin because she has observed that Swamiji was adjusting his Angavastram, the upper clothes, so often that she thought that if she gives him a pin, Then he can, pin it somewhere, the Angavastram, it will not slip, and he can talk without disturbance. Swamiji says, what he understood from that incident was that during the classes, the lady's mind was always on Swamiji's Angavastram, adjusting his clothes, and she had not heard anything of the classes, of the talks that he had given. Therefore, it is not only that your eyes and ears are open, but your mind also should be behind your eyes and ears every minute in the class. Otherwise, the whole Shravanam will be futile. And Gita Shravanam is different from Ramayana Shravanam. In Ramayanam, if you do not have any concentration, it doesn't matter. Rama spent 14 years in the forest. So even if you have started, if you have missed the beginning portion, the story is all well known. Later on also you can catch up with it. There is nothing, because Ramayanam story, it is itihasa. More entertainment purpose, not even a Purana. It is itihasa. So that doesn't matter. Whereas Gita is smriti. So therefore, the subject matter of Gita is very subtle. Even people who listen with full concentration, understanding may be difficult. Then what to talk of listening without concentration? Therefore, in Gita, as we proceed, you will observe every stage, Bhagavan Krishna builds up or unravels, unfolds the message, very logically in a step-by-step basis. So every step becomes very, very important. Next chapter, he is going to talk about Bhakti Yoga. You say Shravanam, Mananam and all. What about Bhakti? Then he talks about that. So that is another area he will cover. And the entire Gita is not different chapters. It is all different petals of the same flower. Every petal is important. And that is how the knowledge is unfolded in the Gita, and that is how the knowledge is unfolded in the Upanishads. And therefore, we require the mind with full concentration. In fact, Swami Chinmayananda used to emphasize the 5 qualities of a student of Vedanta by quoting a very famous and very good Subhashitam. Kakadrishti Bakodhyanam Shwana Nidra Tataivacha Alpahari Jirnavastram Vidyarthi Panchalakshanam. There is also another reading, Kakacheshta, instead of Kakadrishta. The Kakadrishti doesn't make any difference. Means the same thing. Means Cheshta, Kakacheshta means alertness like a crow. Bhagadhyanam, concentration like a crane hunting for its food on the shore of a water body, a river or a lake. It will appear as if it is meditating on one leg, and suddenly when it sights a fish, it will put its beak and catch the fish. That's the concentration with which the crane looks for the prey, for its prey rather. Then Shwana Nidra, sleep like a dog. Dogs, if you have observed, they take a very short sleep and a very light sleep also. Any small sound, not even in your house, it could be anywhere in the colony, the dog will wake up immediately and start barking. The student is expected to sleep like a dog. Short sleep you take, and also light sleep. Alertness should be there. Then alpaharam, food enough to fill the stomach and not to cater to the taste buds. If you have a very heavy lunch and come to a Gita class in the afternoon, what will happen? You can imagine. I don't need to explain it. Then Adhika aharam means a student will doze in the class. And he may even start snoring. Then Jirna Vastram. He should lead a simple life, wearing a simple dress. He should avoid a flashy lifestyle. Vidyarthi Panchalakshanam. These are the 5 traits of a committed student who is eager to learn. And both at Sandipani and also in Arshavidya Gurukula, these disciplines every student is expected to follow. If a student does not follow these disciplines, he will be quietly called by the Acharya and advised that if you cannot, follow these disciplines, you are wasting your time in the Gurukulam, because this is selectively meant only for those people who are serious in their spiritual pursuit. So these are necessary qualifications, necessary requirements for you to study here in the ashram or in the Gurukula. Therefore, for reflecting and listening and reflecting on your learning, you require what? Samaha and Damaha. Therefore, for Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam, for all the 3 sadhanas, you require both this sense control and mind control. Therefore, Arjuna, build up these 2 values first and foremost. Without mind and sense control, spiritual progress is impossible. And a person who has the sensory and mind control is called a Yukta Purusha. In this sloka, Ayuktasya, he says, the one who is not Yukta. So Yukta means a person of having Shamaha and Damaha. And Ayukta means a person without Shamaha and Damaha. And here Krishna says, Ayuktasya buddhihi nasti. The one who does not have mind and sense control, buddhihi nasti, means Shravanam and Mananam are not possible. He cannot gain knowledge. To put it in Gita language, prajna is not possible. Buddhihi nasti means prajna nasti. Shravana manana janya prajna na sambhavati. Not only Shravanam and Mananam not possible, Ayuktasya Bhavana api nasti, without sense and mind control. Bhavana, as I said, means Nididhyasanam, otherwise called Vedantic meditation. So without this Shamaha and Damaha, Nididhyasanam is also not possible. Krishna is making all this very, very clear. Of course, Nididhyasanam itself is a very big topic. I have touched upon it here and there, but we will have to study this in detail, and we will be doing that in the 6th chapter of the Gita. In fact, the entire 6th chapter, about 47 slokas are there, I think. They deal with Bhavana or Nididhyasanam only, Atma Dhyanam, how to do that. Krishna will elaborate in the 6th chapter. As I said, 2nd chapter contains the entire Gita. He has touched upon the very, very important aspects of spiritual journey. 3rd chapter onwards, Bhagavan Krishna is going to unfold each sadhana, how it is to be performed, what should be the attitude with which we should perform it, and all that he will talk about in detail from 3rd chapter onwards. For that, he is now laying the foundation. So here he says, Nididhyasanam also cannot be practiced without mind and sense control. And if a person does not practice Sravana, Manana, and Nididhyasanam, then what will be the consequence? He says, Abhavayataha Shantihi Nasti. For a person who does not practice these 3, Shantihi Nasti, peace of mind is not possible. Therefore, if we actually look at these slokas, we need to understand that Gita study is not just a mere academic pursuit. It is not like any other subject which is studied in a school or college with the sole purpose of getting some good marks, getting an academic degree. Here also, of course, teaching is involved, but that teaching has practical relevance for conducting our activities in our day-to-day life. And mind you, this is not a scripture only meant for Hindus. There is a very big misconception and also a misinformation being spread. The teaching of Gita is not made to any particular religion, caste, or creed. It is made to the humanity in general. It is for any human being, belonging to any country, belonging to any race, belonging to any caste, belonging to any religion. To study the Gita, understand the Gita, and make his own life a happy life. Because people think that Krishna is giving this teaching in Gita. Krishna is a Hindu god, so it is a Hindu scripture. That's the worst understanding one can have about Gita. Krishna's teaching in the Gita is not as Krishna the God, but Krishna the consciousness. Krishna, who has given the entire teaching, the Lord Almighty, who is formless, nameless God, his teaching is this. And that teaching is Vedas, and Gita is based upon the Vedas. Nothing to do. That's why Hinduism, it's a misnomer to call Sanatana Dharma as Hinduism. It is a dharma for everybody to follow eternally, Sanatana, which will be alive even if let all human beings vanish from this earth. That dharma will be alive. And it is a teaching which, when well assimilated, could bring about a dramatic transformation in the way I look at life, the way I look at the world, the way I look at my own self. And that transformation brings peace of mind. Therefore, unlike the subjects we learn in the school and college, the purpose of Gita study is total transformation. And if this purpose is not your aim, your goal in life, then you are wasting your time in the Gita classes, whoever it is. Therefore, even though the teaching style and everything may look academic, the benefits are totally practical, which is total peace of mind, Shanti. Therefore, Arjuna, if you want permanent peace of mind, study and assimilate the Gita. Therefore, he says, Abhavayataha Shantihi Nasti. And then he adds, Ashantasya Kutas Sukham. Without peace of mind, where is the question of happiness? Where is the question of Atmananda? Because Atma Ananda can reflect only in a calm mind. It is just like you want to see your reflection in a mirror or in a water. If you want to see your reflection clearly, the mirror should be steady, not shaking, and the water should not be turbulent. Then only you can see your face clearly. Similarly, Atma Ananda can be reflected only in an undisturbed mind. And if the mind is going to be disturbed or in turbulence, Krishna says, Ashantasya Kutas Sukham. How can Atma Ananda reflect? How can that person be happy? But this example of this mirror is given in the Shastra itself. Shastra, Upanishad says, there's the Upanishad mantra. Not able to recall the mantra, but the meaning I will tell you. It says that as in a clean surface I can see my face, similarly in a calm mind, Atma Ananda can be appreciated. And without that, Ananda is never possible. And if you say that I get peace of mind through other methods also, may be possible, but they will never be permanent peace of mind. They will be only temporary. Therefore, other than knowledge, you adopt any other method, it will give only temporary ananda. Well, I've seen many people, they come to the ashram in Gurukulam. Very calm and tranquil atmosphere, peace. In fact, when you go to such a place, automatically your mind also becomes peaceful, brother. And they say it's wonderful. I could feel the vibrations of Puja Swamiji here and all that. They say the place is so calm and quiet that they enjoyed a lot of peace of mind. Swami Paramathananda, when relating this, he says, everybody will talk, will say, quote unquote, it was so calm and quiet, and I enjoyed peace of mind. Enjoyed means past tense. They never say, after coming away from ashram, that I enjoyed peace of mind, I am continuing to enjoy peace of mind. They never say. It was past tense, their enjoyment, peace of mind. But now they are tense in the present tense. So the Ananda piece is past. Now the present pressures of the samsara causes lot of tension. So they become tense. Therefore, any other method you use, it is temporary peace. Whereas Atma Jnana, Tesham Shantihi Shashwati, says Kathopanishad. The peace and happiness is permanent. This Atma Jnanam alone will give Shashwati Shantihi, na itaresham. No, nothing else will give such a peace of mind. It is very beautifully presented in Kathopanishad. Therefore, Krishna says, or in fact asks a rhetoric question, Uta Sukham Ashantasya, how can you get peace and joy? Now, next sloka, Indriyanam hi charata yanmano nu vidhiyate tadasya harati pragya vayurnavamibhambhasi. Anvaya is hi tat manah yat anuvidhiyate charatam indriyanam harati asya pragyam vayuhu iva navam ambasi. The word meaning are he, verily, indeed. Tat manah, that mind. Yat anuvidhiyate, which follows. Charatam indriyanam, the wandering sense organs. Harati, carries away. Asya pragyam, the wisdom of that person. Vayuhu iva, just as the wind. Navam, the boat. Ambasi, on waters. So indeed, that mind which follows the wandering sense organs carries away the wisdom of that person, just as the wind carries away the boat on the waters. Krishna is again and again emphasizing the need for practicing Shama and Dhamma. He says if sense control is not there, Dhamma is not there, it will not allow the Atma Jnanam to arise in the mind. Even if I choose to listen to the talks of Mahatmas, my sense organs, my roving eyes, my wandering ears will not allow me to listen to it consistently and assimilate that Jnanam. So the Jnanam, in spite of listening to all the Mahatmas, reading all the books, Jnanam does not arise at all. So there will be gaps. And the mind has got a peculiar habit of remembering certain things. In fact, I can recall an incident. I don't know whether I have mentioned this to you. All those people who had come to attend some talk by Mahatma, or even, for example, Puja Swamiji, we cannot take it that they are all interested in spirituality. Because I came across a person who, when he learned that I am a disciple of Puja Swamiji, told me that he used to regularly attend Puja Swamiji's talk in Coimbatore. I was very impressed. Then he added that all that he remembers from the talks were the jokes of Puja Swamiji. He does not remember anything else. He has no clue about Vedanta and his teachings. I was shocked. Till then, I was thinking that everybody who comes to Swamiji's talks and comes to Gurukulam, sits there in the lecture, they are all interested in Vedanta. But this person opened my eyes. Not everybody need me. Some people come there only to listen to Swamiji's jokes. And Swami Paramathananda says that jokes in the talk are like pickles eaten with the curd rice. They are meant for eating the main dish. If you eat only the pickle and leave out the main dish, what a terrible thing it will be. Similarly, jokes do not have a primary value. They are meant for receiving the Gita teachings and make it a little light. That's all. Therefore, the mind should remember the joke, all right, but it should remember the context for which it is said, and therefore a wayward sense organ will not allow the knowledge to take place. And not only that, even if the knowledge takes place, somehow by the wayward sense organs will also rob away that knowledge. At crucial moments when I require that knowledge, it will not be available. The sense organs will take away the jnanam. Therefore, he says, Indriyanam hi charatam yanmano nu vidhiyate. Here, charatam. Charatam actually means like a grazing cow. Grazing cow, if you observe, it will move all over. Suppose, similarly, the sense organs are wandering all over without my permission. Suppose they go in a particular direction under my instruction, no problem. But without my will, if they wander, it will lead to a huge problem, and that is what is dangerous. And here, charatam or charanam means the sense organ decide to go anywhere and behind the sense organs. Behind the sense organ, the mind also. Manaha anuvidhiyate. The mind also goes behind the sense organs. So if the sense organs are wandering, and along with that the mind is also wandering, what will it do? Wandering mind and wandering sense organs will not allow the knowledge to take place. And even if the knowledge comes, they will rob away that knowledge. They will not allow the knowledge to remain with me. Therefore, he says, Tat asya pragyam harati. Tat here means the wandering mind and the sense organs, the wayward mind, and also the wayward sense organs. Tasya pragyam harati. It will rob or carry away the Atma Jnanam. And that is why Krishna is emphasizing both on sense control and mind control. And to convey this idea, Bhagavan Krishna gives an example, and we will discuss this example in the next class. I will stop here. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all very much. I hope today's class was undisturbed, like a peace of mind.
Yes.
Definitely,
Thank you, Guruji.
definitely.
Thank you very much for
Thank
repeating
you.
the
Thank
whole
you,
thing,
Guruji.
Guruji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you
Guruji.
very much.
Hari Om Guruji.
Otherwise, I would not have been satisfied. Hari Om, Hari Om. I would not have been satisfied if I had not repeated.
So we didn't lose the continuity in the process. Thank you very
No,
much.
in fact, what I will do is I will rename this class as the class 70, and I will replace the YouTube which I have uploaded with this recording, so that we have
Excellent.
a continuity in terms of this thing. So that one class we will remove from from a log itself. So that we do that.
I have been fortunate. I couldn't attend last week.
Correct. That is true. But last week was a sort of a disaster. I think it was because of that, that what is that, some cyclone in the US,
Yeah.
So a lot of power, shutdowns and so many things were happening in many parts of the US. So I suspect that the Zoom servers, wherever they are, they might also got affected. That is how we couldn't have a, there was a problem in the sound being carried. So
No, that was
it's
the
okay.
case in another video also. I listened
is it?
last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so that must be the reason that US, that the storm must be the reason. The bomb cyclone or whatever, something there, some name they have given rather. So that must be the reason. Good.
Thank
So
you.
any questions today? Thank you. Hari Om.
Thank you.
Any doubts, any questions, any discussions?
Yeah, I have a question, Guruji.
Yeah.
In the word Shamaha and Damaha is control. And what is Shamaha?
Thank you very much, Ji. Have a new year.
Hari Om. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. See, Shamaha is actually mind control. Damaha is sense control or control of sense organs. Both Shama and Dama go together.
Go together.
One cannot go, you cannot have only one, that is sense control, and not have mind control. Because even as you are seeing something, your senses are engaged in something, your mind may be somewhere else. So the important thing is, see, knowledge takes place through these 5 sense organs, right? Whether it is hearing or Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. These 5 sense objects. We have got, this Chakshu, then all the 5 Indriyas,
5 Indriyas.
Srota, yeah. So the knowledge takes place those 3, 5. But merely by using the 5, knowledge does not happen unless the mind backs these things. That is why many times when we are reading a book, our mind goes somewhere. Nothing that our eyes would have read would have entered. We would have gained knowledge of that. We will again read it. It happens to students many times, rather, right?
Yeah.
So both Shama, Dama go together, sense control and mind control. And that is why Krishna is emphasizing it again and again. It's the most important requisite for the spiritual seeker.
Okay, Guruji. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question? If nothing is there, next class, next Saturday, I will be in Delhi. So
I don't have a question. I just have a comment to make. You mentioned about Pujya Swamiji and Swami Paramarthananda saying that it is a past tense. It has to be present continuous. Otherwise, you lose track.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, these are all, as I said, jokes are meant for jokes.
No, it is just as an aside. I'm just mentioning that it has to be present continuous.
Yeah, that is true. You can look at it that way. But then Swamiji says that, always people say, I went to the ashram. It was so calm and quiet, and I enjoyed peace of mind. When you say I enjoyed, that means that it was past, right? Now I am not enjoying that peace of mind is what it implies, that statement. So it should be present continuous, as you say. I enjoyed, I continue to enjoy because of that thing. And if I gain knowledge in the ashram, I would continue to enjoy the peace of mind. That is true. It should be present continuous. You're right. Good.
Okay.
So nice. So we'll meet. We'll have our class next week. Continue from where we left off. Okay, Hari Om. Thank you. Thank you all.
Hari Om. Thank you,
Happy
Guruji.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Guruji.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to
all
all.
of you.
To all of you.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.